Welcome back. Today we are going to be doing some customer tune-up again. This customer brought us their white PC with a 3070 and a 3700X CPU, so it is on the AM4 platform. Not really interested in some huge upgrades, going for more of a different aesthetic, which in 2026 is kind of a recommended upgrade with the way prices are. So new case, new fans. We are going to do a motherboard swap. Everything's going to black, more of a stealth look. And then the rest of the components in here, case, cooler, fans, are going to get donated to this customer's roommate. And then we have a white bundle going into this new case as well. So we'll have 2 PCs by the end of this video, and we'll jump right into that and get these built out. This customer originally just wanted to do new case and fans to kind of match a black aesthetic, but as we thought more about it, the white accents on this motherboard and the white RAM probably weren't going to fit what he was thinking, so we decided to go with a whole new bundle. I had a 5800 XT bundle in my shop with the same motherboard as his, just in black 32 gigabytes of DDR4. So it is a slight upgrade for the CPU, and the RAM's kind of a one-to-one. He'll have his RAM he could sell to pay for the new RAM, so that's kind of a wash. But overall, an aesthetic upgrade, which is kind of what's recommended in 2026. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. Case is all ready for the new parts, so we have our white motherboard here from Gigabyte, the B650 ICE. And in this motherboard, we're going to be installing a 9700X, giving our customer 8 cores and 16 threads. That's going to be great for both gaming as well as some productivity. And this customer is primarily playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, so those extra cores are going to come in handy for a demanding game like that. For our RAM today, we're going with Corsair Vengeance, 32 gigabytes of DDR5. This is 6000 speed. And for storage, we're going to go with a T-Force G50. This is a 512 gigabyte SSD Gen 4 speed. Our customer already has a 512 that their OS and everything is on, so we're just going to double that for them and give them 1 terabyte total in the whole system. pretty much everything installed now. We are going to do some cable management. So this case currently has this fan hub, but it runs off of a remote. So I think we're just going to get rid of that. Wire all the fans, RGB and the fan speed to the motherboard. So then customer can just use it to control everything with software instead of having to keep track of a remote. This is why I always try to use fans that click together, and you only end up with like 1 or 2 cords per group instead of having 2 cords per fan. Because in this build we had, was it 9 fans? Each of them had 2, so it was 18 cords, and it ended up with such a rat's nest back there. But got it all situated. Notice that these fans on the front were actually exhaust, so I flipped those around as intake. Then just wanted to do a little test boot here, make sure all the fans were spinning, all the RGB was lighting, and we did have an issue. Ended up having to go back and replug in a couple of the PDWs. We had all RGB here, but we had a couple fans not spinning, so had to go back, rework it, but then we got everything up and running like it should be. This customer has a 4070 GPU at home that they're going to be using, but I did not have it here in the shop, so I'm just throwing in this 9060 XT 16 gigabyte that I had in the shop, just to make sure everything is up and running, get what drivers I can installed, and then when I get this back to the customer, all they have to do is pop in their SSD with their boot drive, and then install their graphics drivers, and then they will be all good to go. And we got a full boot onto the drive I inserted, and this customer is all set. Now on to our second customer PC. So this one in front of us here is a PC that I recently built for a video and had it for sale, but didn't end up selling it. So it's just kind of been sitting on the shelf. All the parts are still brand new, just assembled. So we'll just take this motherboard, CPU, and RAM combo out of here. This is rocking the 5800 XT and 32 gigabytes of DDR4. So this motherboard is the same exact one the customer had, just the black version. The case our customer is moving everything to is the Lian 011 Vision. One of my favorite cases to build in. It's really versatile, has a lot of room in the back for cable management, and it's just a really good looking case overall when we get done. We did get the new motherboard installed with the CPU and RAM. I did need to transfer over the customer's SSD. So I took out the one that was previously installed in here. Now we're getting that new one put in. Customer also brought us an AIO, the Kraken Elite 360 by NZXT. I think he picked this one up secondhand, but everything in there seemed to be pretty much brand new. So we are going to get that one installed, starting with the brackets, and we'll get the radiator installed, and the customer did provide new fans they wanted, so we'll take off the fans that come with it and install some new ones. Been doing a lot of AM5 installs lately, so I forgot about this back plate that holds the retaining clips for your CPU cooler on there. So on AM4 and below and most Intel boards, this back plate is separate, but this is a good time to show you this removable motherboard tray on this case. So just got a couple thumb screws that you undo, and then you could take it right off. And I was able to get the back plate on there and get this reinstalled. I'll actually be showing this again later in the video when I need to move the motherboard tray down into a different configuration to fit more fans. So stay tuned for that. So customers going with the Lian SL Uni fans, and I noticed, so the first 3 came in a 3-pack, and then he had 3 individuals of reverse blades as well. But when I was opening these up, I noticed that it only one of them came with the correct fan. One was a wireless fan, and the other one was just some dusty old fan that somebody returned in the box. So had to let the customer know, and we decided going forward we were just going to install the one on the bottom, and then he could get 2 replacements to just click in pretty easily. So it's already going to be all wired for him and everything. He'll just need to click in the 2 new ones and put some screws in the bottom. So pretty easy fix there. This is where I moved the motherboard tray down because I realized the back configuration was not set for 2 fans. It was only going to fit 1. So I went ahead and moved that down so we can have 2 exhausts there in the back. And when you do this, you could just see this rectangle just moves from the bottom, and then it screws right in at the top. So you get, it's probably about 1.5 to 2 inches of wiggle room there when you move that down. So a lot of options with this case. I noticed in his last build, this customer was not using his USB-C port because the motherboard did not have a header for it. So I went ahead and got this PCIe slot adapter that gives you an additional USB-C header. So you can run the Case IO USB-C header there, and you can use that USB-C port on the front of the case. Another thing I really like about using with cases like this is Lian Edge power supplies. That L shape in the way that these mount, you get that intake fan coming right from the back, but then you have all your ports to plug into right there, just kind of looking at you. So Makes it really easy to get things plugged in and then to run those cables. With everything plugged in, I just want to do a quick test boot, make sure everything is working before we do our final cable management. So power cord is plugged in, switch is on, and we get a boot. Fans are all spinning, RGB's working, our screen is working, looks like GPU's kicking on, and we are getting no debug lights, so that is a good sign. And I know it looks a little incomplete with those missing bottom fans, so I did receive this picture from the customer after he did get those fans installed, so you could see kind of what the finished product looks like here. Then just wrapping up here with our final cable management. And our final boot here, just to make sure everything fires up, we did load right into BIOS. The new CPU was reading, GPU was reading, temps were okay. I actually had a little bit of a spike on this one here. I had to shut it down, reseat the pump header, and then we got back in and temps were looking good. So that is going to wrap up our second build for this video. We had one PC come in with a bunch of spare parts, and we are heading out the door with two for hopefully 2 happy customers. If you liked what you saw today, go ahead and give us a like. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button for more content. That's going to do it for today's video. We'll see you guys in the next one.